Probably one of the coolest spiritual experiences I had on a mission. There's many, but in my first area, we were at church, me and my companion. We weren't having a ton of luck, admittedly, in terms of finding people to teach, but we were at church and the members came to us in, I think, priesthood or Sunday school, and they said, "Hey, are investigators here?" And our first reaction was, we don't have investigators. But we went downstairs. It was a two-story building. We went back downstairs and we ran into this woman. Her name was Sister Fukuoka, and she had somehow heard about the church, I think from a mutual friend or something like that, and she decided to come that day. And she was incredibly prepared to hear the gospel from the get-go. We immediately began teaching her, and I think within only a few weeks, she was ready to be baptized. She was practically ready to follow all the commandments. And I remember we'd ask her things like, what helped you be ready for this? And more than anything else, she was concerned about her son. She was a single mother. And her family meant everything to her. Basically, her son meant everything to her. And the gospel, she had heard, what it meant to families and everything. And that was what she needed. And I remember it was cool for me because I was a very young missionary. I'd only been out in the field for a couple months, 2.5 months, and I didn't really speak Japanese that well, but we taught a lesson to her where I was asked to teach a certain part of the plan of salvation, and I taught it, and I felt pretty good about what I'd said, but again, that soon into the mission, you just don't have the language skills to really properly teach. And I remember after I was done, she said something to me. She kind of laughed a little bit, and obviously I was a little worried about that. But she laughed because I think she found it funny that this new missionary who could barely speak Japanese actually clarified something that the other missionary had sort of confused her on. She said something like that. She said, okay, that makes sense. Like, now I get it. And I felt great, obviously, and so there was sort of that personal aspect as well. Unfortunately, I was not able to be there when she was baptized. I got transferred before that happened, but that becomes insignificant compared to the fact that I actually was with her when she got her endowments out. At the very end of my mission, I was I was the zone leader in the mission office area, and once a transfer, we can go to the temple. And just a week or two before I left, we had our temple date, and she came and took her endowments out that same session. So I got to be there for that, and she brought her son. I got to say goodbye to them, and it was just a very powerful experience. And I remember she didn't really understand the whole transfer thing at all. She didn't know if I was still in Japan or whatever because she was so new to the church. But when she figured it out, she realized I was still in Japan. And so she got my address in areas that I was in, and she would write me and send me things, and just a wonderful sister. And I've heard since that she's struggled with the church a little bit, but from what I've understood, she's always been there for other members of the church. She's always been there for her son. And she's just a wonderful woman, and that was just a great experience to have where we were just working hard, and we did our best to find investigators, but no luck on our own. But this woman was ready, and Heavenly Father sent her our way.